then we make sure that basically all these departments, like my department is a service department, or the finance department, we have the payrolls and everything else. But we also have animal care and control. You have to make sure that stray animals are picked up and housed and housed appropriately. So you think about this, we are into 40 distinct businesses which have nothing to do with each other except for the fact that they serve the same residents. They serve the same business. So I didn't even talk about the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection and Community Development and zoning, and it's just endless. So you think about a city government and the complexity that the city government has. We have to hide all of this complexity behind the counter and make sure that the resident that we are serving doesn't have to deal. And we are, to some extent, to very little extent, we are successful in that. Everybody has to go to bureaucracy to know how the city government works. But there is a tremendous complexity, and that also makes sure that also requires some kind of innovation to make sure that we are giving a unified view. And then rising expectation. This is definitely not a DMV center. This is not a driver's license facility. I wish it was. And by the way, we don't run the driver's license facilities. But basically, I think this is the Apple bar. Is that? So there is like one person, and if you look at the city government facilities, there are like there'll be lines just because we are inefficient sometimes. And so expectations are from the citizens, from the residents, from the constituents, is that why can't you provide services similar to what I get at Apple, or what I get at Verizon, or what I get at AT&T, or what I get at any private sector organization? I pay you taxes. I pay you much more than what I pay AT&T, or I pay you much more than what. So basically, we are collecting all the water bills and sewage bills and everything, but the expectation now, at least in the last 10 years, has changed, that we are also providing similarly sophisticated, high-level services to our constituents. At least that is something that, the reason why we need to provide that is, again, the same thing, as we want to keep that talent here. We want to keep those businesses here, because they are the ones who would innovate, they are the ones who would create jobs, and they are the ones who would attract more jobs to the city of Chicago. So these are the reasons why, when we say why innovate as a government, we could just be here forever. If we don't innovate, we could be Detroit. And again, no offense against no offense against the city. But basically, what I'm saying is, if you don't look in future and see what's happening and rely on one specific thing or rely on two specific things, at the end of the day, you need to reinvent, like Detroit. Right now, Pittsburgh was in the same situation 10 years ago. Pittsburgh reinvented itself, and Pittsburgh is an innovation hub right now. And a lot of things are going on in that city. Detroit, I'm sure 10 years from now will be a different story. But right now, if you see October 5th, 2010, it's not a great story. So again, as a city, when you're competing not just with the US cities, but you're competing globally, you have to make sure that you are addressing all of these things and creating an environment for businesses. We don't need to come up with a Chicago pad. We don't need to come up with a Chicago phone or something. What we need to do is create an environment which keeps the businesses and talent here and attracts more businesses and talent here. So what we have done, what the mayor has done, a few things. One, Chicago Academy for Advanced Technology. When we looked at, we saw what do businesses need to stay and open new business in Chicago. They need talent. They need technology talent. So we have this high school from 9th through 12th grade, which is basically teaching math, science, social studies.